Are you ready to hear what's really going on with Yelp reviews? Huh? Are you really ready to hear as to the nitty-gritty, the raw, the informational, the true knowledge and depth that I got in this big old head of mine looking like Burgermeister Meisterburger, right? You know who that guy is? You remember that guy, huh? Claymation status. A couple more weeks, it's gonna get bigger and you're gonna really see it. All right, folks, so here we are. Yelp exposed, reviews. All right, such a huge, hot topic in the world of marketing, in the world of business ownership and everything else. Here's the deal though. It is one of the most used and most referenced decision-making tools out there. All right, I want you to hear me again when I say that. Yelp reviews are one of the most coveted research and decision-making tools out there. Let me explain, all right? We all know, and I know you business owners, you hate them with a passion, right? Your Yelp reviews. Why are they gone? You're filtering my reviews and you suck, Yelp, you're a piece of crap. Here's the problem. All you fools who've been gating the system, all you fools who have been tricking the system, all you fools will be like, yo, homie, write me a Yelp review, man. I need to get my star count up. Well, guess what? That's why the system's in place. In the other video where we talked about Yelp exposed, I briefly touched on how Google has an open door policy for you to solicit whatever you want with regards to reviews, okay? So now, for Yelp though, let's think about it like this. In our American system right now, we have a situation that is pushing for no ID on voter laws whatsoever, which means that you can mail in all of the ballots that you want and they'll be counted for the popular vote, okay? With no need for an ID or anything else, much like Google. Google says, hey, you can send out as many requests as you want for homies to write reviews. Anybody with an Android to write a review because, oh, by the way, you have to have an @Gmail account in order to write a review on Google. So as a result, if, well, you know, there's all these Androids out there and they all have to have an @gmail.com to access the Play Store, well, if you just send somebody a review link, then they just have to tap the link real fast, give you 5 stars, well, it's all good to go. So here's the other thing. You have to have nothing to sign up for a new @gmail.com email address. There are literally millions of them out there. So just because those guys that are out there and females and anybody that runs a review gating system where you can send somebody a link and say, write me a review, aunts, uncles, homies, people you don't even like, right? People can go on there and just bash you for whatever because, oh, by the way, there's really no support when you need to flag a review on Google. Another time. This isn't Google exposed, this is Yelp exposed. So from that point, what happens, you can send out those review links, people can write them, your numbers inflate, and as a result of inflating your numbers, saying that you got more goodness than you don't, and then when somebody has a crappy review, they're like, but you guys have like a 4-star reputation. And then they're weird about writing a negative review because what happens is with cognitive dissonance and like the social sheeple mentality, follow the herd, they're like, oh, they must have just had an off day. Instead of realizing that through the thousands of people that they've been servicing, they've been using a review gating system where their negative reviews aren't posted on there, only the 4- and 5-star ones to make them look like they're the obvious choice, all right? So with Yelp, what happens is you can watch this video right here, how to get reviews on Yelp in 2020, okay? Did that a couple months ago. The way that it works with Yelp, and we can watch that video and I'll put a link down below for the Yelp review filtering video, okay? It says that if you are not an avid Yelp user, if you are not an individual who reviews a lot, if you're a user that doesn't even use the platform, oh, and by the way, if you're a user because Yelp can find you with with location tracking, and they can find you to ensure that you've tapped on maybe the website, maybe you've tapped on their hours of operation, you've engaged with the profile, then Yelp knows, hey, you've engaged with this profile because, hey, it's all AI. I'll get to that in a minute. So from that point, what happens is Yelp platform can see that you are, in fact, engaging with that platform. And so from that point, if you've written reviews, if you have friends, if you're using the platform, that's what Yelp says to do to engage with it. So then that way your review is counted. So then that way you're not filtered as much. So here's the deal, is that if you only hop on there like once a year, or you only really just kind of scroll through it, you're not really engaging, you're not making phone calls through the app, you're not ordering food through the app, you're not reading specialty section, you're not looking at the call to action links, you're not going to the website from there, well, Yelp's not going to deem you as a true Yelp user, and that's what they're working to solve. They want true Yelp users on the platform, okay? Okay, I want that to sink in, all right? I really do. I want that to sink in, that Yelp wants people who are checking in. Yelp wants people who are using the profile, okay? So then from that point, what happens, because they've been around for the last 15 years, and they have an AI, artificial intelligence, they have an artificial intelligence that scans everything, okay? Truth bomb exposed. Every time you flag a review on Yelp, and then you get mad and you're like, they're mean, they shouldn't do that to me. I'm a good cook. I gave them good service. And you want to write it with emotion? Well, here's the problem, is that it's AI. And if you do not document Yelp content guidelines and terms of service when you flag the review and you're just like, they're mean, this is not my customer, I don't agree with this. Well, the AI then comes back and says, you didn't give me anything. It's a computer language. You have to understand that the review system is not operated by a human. There isn't some guy behind the curtain like the Wizard of Oz sitting there going, oh, I'm gonna be a jerk to them today. No, that's not happening. And if you have a problem with your Yelp profile where reviews are constantly getting filtered, well, that means that you probably tried to game or trick the system in the past. The AI recognizes that, and as a result, even though you're not supposed to be, and we're talking to Yelp about that, see, I'm doing more work than you'll ever realize with them, that they are doing their best to bring the best experience possible, okay? So the whole goal is if you flag a review through the review flagging system on the Yelp for Business Owners, it's going to be ran through an AI system. Bottom line, if you, from that point, have a problem and you want to call and complain to Yelp staff, they can't help you. Yelp local sales, as boiler room style status as they are with their sales, and it's horrible, and I've talked to them time and time again, my contacts, you know, West Coast division of what I'm doing, we've brought this up to them on numerous occasions, not just my agency, but like 30 others at the end of January at the Yelp Partner Summit, okay? They understand that their boiler room style of calling to get you to buy their enhancements is an outdated practice, and all it does is annoy the shit out of people, okay? But if you call in and you're trying to say that somebody's doing something mischievous or mean, or they are just targeting you, because that's another common problem is people target other businesses, and you know, you might have a plumber come out and give a quote, and then another plumber come out and give like another quote. It might be a little bit less, and they're like, oh, well, we'll take care of you, and this and that, and like, oh, I'll take some more off if, maybe you write a negative review about them and you write a good review about us. That happens. Oh, yes. And so from that point, the whole system is really set up against the business owner because they don't understand that. Okay? They don't understand that when they flag a review, it's through an AI system. Google is, by the way, and it's much worse. Like, you don't even get an email back from Google My Business. Ugh, horrible. Anyways, so from that point, what happens is, with the Yelp platform, okay, when you flag a review, all right, it goes through AI. I hope that you heard me when I say that. When you get emotional about it, it doesn't help. I really need for you to look at the terms of service and content guidelines for Yelp and people leaving a review, and then I want you to literally write it in a very plain language manner with no emotion, and from that point you can flag the review based on the criteria. I'm not getting into the specifics of how to do it, But if that's what you need to do, I highly recommend that you take action on that right now. And I also recommend that anything that is not specific for your business, or if it's somebody who is being malicious to your business, I recommend that you flag those immediately and you clean up your profile right away. All right? Because the number one thing that people use the Yelp platform for, and this is the biggest exposure point that I have about Yelp, okay, and I've been saying it for years, Yelp is a decision-making tool. That's it. And here's the other part that's really gonna kind of blow you away, all right? 5%. I want you to hear me when I say this, 5%, okay? 5%, right here, 5% of the people that use Yelp write reviews. 5% of the people that use Yelp write reviews. The other 95% of the people that use Yelp use it strictly for research purposes, okay? Which means they don't write reviews, which means that they're going off of what the 5% is telling them, okay? So the 95%, okay, is being led around by the 5%. Because there are millions of businesses out there that have wonderful service, wonderful products, wonderful people working for them, but you have a society of people who are turned a blind eye, and as a result, if you want to help local business owners really succeed, purchase goods from them, order food from them, and then write a review about them. Check into their location, look at their website, order food through Yelp, and then from that point, check in. Because here's what happens, all right? Once you check in on Yelp, 24 to 48 hours later, they come back and they say, hey, Ralph, you were just at XYZ business. Would you like to write a review? Literally, they send a push notification 24 hours to 72 hours later to your phone. So the best way to help a business grow and thrive and generate revenue is by being proactive and writing reviews. Even if it's the food is great, the owner is wonderful, he's super professional, you are a business owner and you want to help those individuals that you love and that you know and that you like and that you trust. Old school BNI guy. Love my BNIs and my rotaries. If you want to help those business owners, I highly suggest that you talk about their professionalism. You talk about the quality of work that they do. You talk about the community activity that they do, because it is going to take individuals like us to help businesses come through this, and businesses are going to come through this by being the obvious choice and having strong profiles. They're going to have stronger profiles by you leaving a review, because that's the first thing somebody sees, in what they look for is a star count and that color, because the color changes every time the star count increases or decreases. So from that point, really it's one of the only platforms that does that. So you really need to look into that. Like the red coloring when you log in and you're looking for a 4 or 5 star, do you notice that it's kind of like a bright, vibrant red, like, yes, pick me, pick me. And then from that point, like the 3 stars, kind of like a weird, ugly orange, and then it's like a yellow. And then it's just like, whoa, bro, you don't even want to do this, like super caution yellow, right? So write reviews for your fellow business owners. Engage with their profile. From that point, share this video with them so they understand what's going on. Because when you have 5% of the population controlling what the other 95% do, well, from that point, that's a statistic that I would pay attention to. Because as a veteran who served in the United States Navy for just shy of 11 years, well, I'm going to let you know that us veterans and us people that have served in the military, we are the 5%, helping the other 95% of people out there, so then that way you can make a choice. So then that way you can choose who you want to do business with, instead of it being mandated who you are going to work with. Instead of there being no options for businesses, because that's where we're headed. If the whole economy keeps crashing the way that it is, with oil going down and it's a negative price point, from that point we have to really start taking care of each other. We have to come together, lock arms, and make it happen. So get out there. if you can, if you're just sitting on your ass and you're really not doing anything, please, if you know a business that you love and they're local, even if it's a national chain, get on there, describe your experience, let them know what's going on, because us as consumers, we have to stand up, we have to stand against the tyranny, we have to stand up against the 5% swaying what the other 95 are doing to make a decision, because there are amazing business owners out there. And here's the other thing. As a savvy consumer, you know where a crappy business is, right? When they have horrible customer service and all that. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about helping, banding together, increasing everything, so then that way you can bring and use the best businesses out there, so then that way they can be successful. All right, it's Ralph Carrasco. Keep it funky, folks. Love you big, and help your local business owners. Bye now.